Can you all see my screen, right? So right now you should see the title, Algebra 2. So this is the Algebra 2 class. So this is the course information. So every Thursday, okay, every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time is starting September the 15th. Okay, we have 12 classes, and until the December 8th. Okay, no class during the Thanksgiving, the November 24th. And you should already complete geometry, okay, and of course, Algebra 1 as well, to take the Algebra 2. Now you may learn Algebra 1 or geometry somewhere else. That's also okay, as long as you have the basic foundation. Algebra 2 class will cover a lot of the topics. Okay, if you look through all those, okay, you will see a lot of functions. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 functions. The only familiar to you probably is the quadratic function. Okay, so you should have learned quadratic function in Algebra 1, and a lot of the others are new. So Algebra 2 is actually kind of one of the hardest math class in high school. Okay, a brief introduction, okay, about me, myself. So I got a PhD degree in chemical engineering from Colorado School of Mines, and I have been teaching at Fort Bend ISD here in Sugar Land, Texas. I saw a couple of you are from Texas. So I'm a high school math teacher. I have been teaching Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and college algebra for many years now. And currently, okay, our Algebra 2 classes already been going on for 2 weeks now. Okay. Class expectation, this is when we officially start, that's the class expectation. So every class, okay, every unit, we will have blank guided notes for you to print out. Now, of course, you can just say, oh, how about taking electronic notes? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. So either print out the blank guided notes, okay, before each class, or have, okay, the notes downloaded and ready before you join each class. Turn on the camera. Okay, not today. Today is the tryout. You don't have to, but you are welcome to have your camera on. Okay. So in each class, okay, students need to participate actively. Okay, and we have homework on regular basis. And I will also provide the key. Okay, I will also provide a key. So you will self-check, and because it's a weekly class, so some of you might have some extra time, want to do a few more practice. So that's also available. So I will have the extra practice, and I have the mandatory homework. Okay, and I will provide all the answer keys for you to check. And you're always welcome to bring questions from homework to the class. So I will try to allocate some time for you to ask me if you have any questions from the homework. And make sure review the recordings if you have any questions. The strategy is, okay, so maybe every once a while, okay, you will have a timestamp. So when you review the recording, it's 2 hours long, right? So you don't have to, like, go over the whole thing, drag along. So you have timestamp. Oh, this topic is maybe at 35 minutes ish. So when you want to just review the certain topic, you can just go wherever you want to. Any questions so far just about the course itself or about me? Okay, so very good. Now let me stop share this PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, let me share my notes from the iPad. Okay, right now you do not have the blank note-taking guide ready, but don't worry. Okay, you can have a piece of paper, just because you probably need to work on a few of the problems. Okay, can you all see my share screen? It says Algebra 2, Unit 1A. Yes, you can, let me turn on the chat. You can unmute yourself or just type in the chat. Can you all see it? Thank you, Tiffany. Okay, thank you. Okay, now let's take a look. Okay, we're starting. Okay, I should I can pick the topic, but a lot of the math, the topic is all connected. So I just this is our first unit. Actually, my students currently still in this unit 1. So formulate and solve absolute value equations and inequality, and we'll have also graphing afterwards. Now, really, math, we're starting the definition. Okay, I think a lot of times we just start examples and then model that. We actually will start absolute value definition. Okay, you will see how important the definition is. Okay, this is not usually we start with the definition. So absolute value, the definition is actually the distance. We do not have to copy down this, but some of the problems you want to work out. So just listen along. So this is the distance of a number to 0 on a number line. Okay, so if you have the number line, okay, the 0, it's whatever the number, okay, so that number from this number to the 0 on the number line. So absolute value is the distance, okay, of a number to 0 on a number line. And we know distance can never be negative. Okay, you cannot just say, oh, I have between you and me, the distance is negative steps. So you cannot have negative distance. So distance cannot be negative. Now, because the definition of the absolute value is distance, absolute value is distance. So we know since the distance cannot be negative, so therefore the absolute value, right? Therefore the absolute value, cannot be negative. You will think, oh, of course I know that, okay, right? Absolute value, okay, cannot be negative, okay, but you will see, sometimes when you need to start to solve absolute value equation, you actually tend to forget. Okay, let's look at the very first example. What does the following equation mean? So we have the absolute value x equals 4. Okay, that means the number, right? Remember the definition? It means the number of x to the 0, okay, to the 0 is actually, the distance is 4. The distance from that x is 4. Where x can be, can you type, if any of you want to type in the chat? Okay, so the distance, so what means is distance from x to 0 is actually 4. It can be what? The distance 4, so it can be right here, 4 units to the right. So what's my tick mark here? It will be 4. Is that the only possible place that x can be? You guys can unmute yourself and we can discuss together. Is it only possible x?
No.
No. Where else?
It
Where
can
else?
be 5.
It can be what?
5.
Okay, it can be 4 units to the right, but okay, because I need this is okay. Remember the definition. Absolute value is the distance, so I know this is the distance. So 4 is distance. So I know okay, distance from the x to 0 is 4, but okay, yeah, I received a couple answers. Okay, can be also 4 units to the left, 4 units to the left, as long as the distance is 4 units. So if you're on the number line, you can just say, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have -4. Okay, so my x can be either -4 or 4. So you have 2 answers, as long as that the distance is 4, so 4 units. Okay, 4 units. Okay, now let's look at example 2. Let's look at, is this possible? Absolute value of x, okay, equals -5. Remember the definition, absolute value is the distance. Is it possible? Is this possible? Okay, you can type your answer in the chat. Is this possible? Remember the definition, absolute value distance. We already mentioned earlier, right? When we have the definition, distance can never be negative. So this one is not possible. Okay, not possible. Okay, because absolute value, okay, absolute value, okay, can never be negative, never be negative. Okay, very good. Now, is absolute value x equals 0 possible? Is it possible? And what does that mean? Is absolute value x equals 0 possible? Yeah, by the way, I mentioned earlier, the chat is the direct chat. Okay, so in the class, I want to just encourage everybody answer. So don't worry if you answer wrong, okay, only I can see. So I can, type back, say, check back, okay, check to see your answer. Very good. So this is possible. And right at x equals 0. So this one is x equals 0. So yes, it's possible. And the distance is just a 0. Okay, now with this, the definition, okay, and just 2 simple examples. Okay, let's look at a little bit more complicated examples. So let's look at example 3. Absolute value of 2x minus 5 need to equals 8. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, remember the definition. Absolute value is the distance, okay? Is the distance of that expression to the 0. So that means 2x minus 5 itself, okay? 2x minus 5, this one has a distance, okay, is a distance of 8 from the 0. So what I know is, if I draw that on the number line, 0 in right here, I have this as the distance. 8 is the distance by definition. Absolute value equals the distance. So 8 units, okay, 8 units on the right, 8 units on the left. So what I have, the tick mark. Okay, what can I have there? Just the same as earlier. This can be 8 and this can be -8. Okay, so 2x minus 5 can be equal to -8 or 8 because 2x minus 5 itself, okay, has a distance of 8, okay, from that 0. Okay, so we are going to now solve it. Okay, we are going to solve it. So what I teach the students is that we are just having this, okay, we are just splitting that. Okay, whenever you need to solve the absolute value equation, you are splitting that to 2 parts. Now to make it more like, understandable, I will have the one on the left side. Oh, sorry, let me just. Okay, on the left side, I will have, okay, when I split, get rid of all the bars. Okay, I get rid of all the bars because 2x minus 5 itself is expression, has a distance of 8 from 0. So I'm going to copy down everything exactly same as the original equation, but just without the absolute value bar. Okay, just without this. Okay, so now the other side, okay, so you have two parts. The other side, you have 2x minus 5 now equals the negative 8. Okay, because 8 units, the distance is 8, can be 8 units to the right, 8 units to the left. Now here is something, just the multi-step equations. Okay, you have mastered in Algebra 1. So I'm going to go over the one on the left side, okay, and then we'll let you practice, okay, on the right side. So when I have this 2x minus 5 equals 8, okay, I need to solve x, right? When I need to solve x means x by itself. I need to isolate this x. So what I need to do is get rid of everything around x. I need to get rid of this 2 and also need to get rid of this minus 5. You cannot get rid of them all together, like once. So we have to do it one by one. What should I do first? Okay, if anybody can type in the chat, what should I do first to isolate x or to solve for x? Good job, Jinpeng. So what you need to do is add 5 first. Okay, add 5 first. Okay, and then I have this canceled. I have 2x equals 8 plus 5, that's 13. Okay. And then you just basically, yeah, thank you, Wei, as well. Then you just divide by 2, divide by 2. So x itself, 2 and 2 cancel, x equals 13 over 2. Okay. I want you to follow this model. Okay, follow this model, solve the one on the right side. Okay, I need you to solve x on the other side. Okay, and then you can type your answer in the chat. For the students, you answered, okay, you will receive my comments if it's correct or if I ask you to check. Check. Okay, if I ask you to check, so double check where it got wrong. Okay, I received a couple answers. Okay, now let's work out together. It's just like the one on the left side. The first step is add 5. Okay, so add 5, add 5. And then you have 2x equals the negative 3. Okay, it's negative 3. And then divide by 2. So x equals the negative 3 over 2. Okay, that's your two answers. Okay, that's your two answers. So x can be 13 over 2 or negative 3 over 2. Yeah, check your answer. So so negative 8 plus 5 or 8 plus 5. Okay, this is like some basic addition, subtraction with the negative number. So make sure do not make careless mistakes. Okay, this is example 3. Any questions about example 3? Okay, I will move on to example 4. Before I move on to example 4, so I will just quickly review. Okay, quickly review. Now the definition, absolute value is equals the distance. So here is the distance, right? When you have the absolute value, that's the distance. Okay. Absolute value. And that's the distance. Distance cannot be the negative. Absolute value. This is the distance. Distance is okay to be 0. Example 3, okay, 8 absolute value. Okay, and then you have 8 as the distance. Now, example 4, okay, I want to ask you, what should be the distance? What should be the distance? Can you type your answer in the chat? What should be the distance? Okay, let me just, you don't have the blank one, so I'll put it here. Yes. What do you think the distance is? Okay, let's see, check. Mhm. Okay, I only received one answer so far. Anybody have a guess? What should be the distance based on my definition and previous example? Remember the definition? What's the distance? Absolute value equals the distance. Absolute value equals the distance. I already put all the absolute value bar in the blue, okay, the bars. Absolute value. I received some excellent mistakes. So actually, whenever I ask this question in the class, okay, I always ask this, for example, for what is the distance? Okay, a lot of students fell into the trap. So if you look at previously, it looked like all the right side will be the distance, or the equation, the right side of the equation is the distance. But is that true here? Now let's review, okay? Let's review the definition. Quickly review. Definition, absolute value is the distance, right? Absolute value is the distance. Absolute value is the distance. What I need have here, absolute value actually need to be what? Isolated. So you have to isolate first. After you have absolute value, the expression equals, and then this side will be the distance. So right now I have all those things I actually need to get rid of. Okay, isolate first. So 6 itself is not distance. So we can figure out, okay, what's the distance? What should we do? I need to isolate this bar. Okay, I need to isolate this. What do I need to do first? Good job. Oh, you already found the answer, got the answer. Okay, so let's work that out. Yes, you need to subtract the 4 first. Okay, subtract the 4 on both sides. Okay, and then I have 1/2, 5x minus the 3 equals the 2. Now I want to get rid of this half. Okay, you can divide by half. Now divide by fraction is hard. You're going to multiply the reciprocal. Multiply reciprocal. Okay, reciprocal 1/2, the reciprocal is 2/1. So multiply 2 basically on both. Let me use a different color. So if I use starting the red, okay, multiply the reciprocal, multiply the 2, okay, 2/1. Okay. So I will get this canceled. So I have 5x minus the 3 equals 2 times 2, that's 4. So I finished isolating. Now, once I finished isolating, okay, now I have absolute value equals what? Distance. So this one is actually distance. Okay, so which means, okay, 5x minus 3 itself is a distance, okay, 4 units from the 0. Okay, so we can utilize the example 3. So next we can split that. So let's practice one more time, okay, to split that. Copy down everything except the bar, so it's just the 5x minus the 3 equals the 4, okay. And the other side is 5x minus 3, okay, remember it's the opposite, -4. 4 units to the right, 4 units to the left. Okay. And then just keep going. Okay, keep going. Okay, this I would just do it very fast. I don't need you to practice. So plus the 3 on both sides. Okay, and then you have cancel 5x equals the 7, and then x equals 7 over 5. Same thing, add 3, add 3. So 5x, okay, equals the -1, and x equals the -1 over 5. Okay, so the students who submitted answer already, you got correct. Okay. Very good. Okay, this is example 4. So let me review that. Okay, the first step. Okay, step 1. You actually need to isolate. Okay, you need to isolate absolute value. After you isolate, okay, then step 2, you are going to split that, split to 2 parts. After you isolate absolute value, the one on the right side should be the distance. Okay, and then just solving. Okay. Okay, now example 5. Okay. Any questions so far? Any question about the 3 and 4? Okay, so I want you to start thinking about example 5. Okay, example 5, and type in the chat. Okay, what is the distance? What's the distance for example 5? Good job, Michael. Good job, Jinfen. Good job, Liang. Okay, I got quite a few of you. Okay, correct. The distance, okay, the distance. Don't fill to the trap. Okay, the distance is not that 5. Okay, it's not 5. You have to isolate. Okay, you have to isolate. So you need to minus 10 and minus 10. Okay, isolate means just by itself. So cancel. I have 7x minus the 6 equals the -5. And I want you to continue to solve. Okay, I want you to continue to solve. You need to give me the final answer, what the x value can be. Give me some time. Okay, I will wait a little bit long. Okay, little bit longer because this is a very important example to work on. Thinking about definition, okay, thinking about the steps to solve absolute value equation. Okay, here, let me show some of, okay, I cannot see your work, but here is some mistakes, okay, from a few of my students. We will say, okay, I need to solve for x. Okay, so let's add a 6 on both sides. Cancel this, cancel that. Okay, that you cannot do that. Okay, absolute value bar is something you should treat like the jail bar. Okay, it's something you cannot add in, you cannot take out, okay, before you actually get rid of the bar. So you have to get rid of bar first, and then you can add, you can subtract, you can divide, multiply. So you cannot directly add a 6 to cancel. You cannot do that. This is like the jail over there. So what you have to do is either split that. So example 3 and 4, what we did is splitting, right? When we split, we actually kind of like taken the bar away. So example 3, okay, example 4, when we split, okay, we actually get rid of the bar. Now number 5, okay, I believe, okay, quite some of you say, okay, we said, okay, splitting this, so you have 7x minus 6 equals, copy down, and then the other side is the opposite. Okay, I'm going to work out the one, and then I actually want to check, okay, and I will show you how to check your answer. So to isolate x, okay, you add 6, add a 6. So 7x equals 1, and then x equals 1 over 7, because I do receive some of the answers. Okay, now you probably just say, Miss No, you didn't check earlier. Okay, yeah, I just, if you have every step correct, you do not have to check over there. Here, okay, of course, it's like you still do not have to check, but I want to tell you, okay, this answer is wrong by checking, and I will show you why this is wrong. So 1 over 7, if I plug in here, how do you check? You just check left side equals right side or not. So what I would do is, okay, absolute value 7 times the x. Okay, what is my x? Okay, x is 1 over 7. Okay, that's the value x. Okay, and then plus, not plus, minus the 6, okay, plus the 10. We want to see if this really equals the 5 or not. 7 times 1 over 7, okay, that's 1. Okay, so this is 1. 1 minus 6, that's negative 5. Absolute value of negative 5, okay, this is positive 5. Positive 5, okay, add a 10, that's 15. Okay, that is not equal to 5. So we know 1 over 7 is wrong. Okay, and I already have some students answered correct, but right now, okay, for the student, if you haven't got my thumb up, okay, now can you think the reason why it looked like I followed all the steps, right? Just like example 3 and 4, but why this one is wrong? I didn't do anything. Looks like calculation is all correct, but why 1 over 7 if I plug in is actually wrong? Yes, okay, you actually shouldn't split, okay, shouldn't split in the beginning. So let me just get rid of everything. Why we shouldn't split? It's purple. This, by definition, absolute value equals the distance. Now remember we said, okay, distance can never be negative, okay, can never be negative. So when we have, okay, the distance is actually negative, there should be no solutions. Final answer is no solutions. So that will save you, okay, at least 2 minutes or 3 minutes, because all you did here and all you did here, you spend 2 or 3 minutes, but your answer, okay, if you plug in, your answer is actually wrong. So do not do any of that here, okay? Don't do anything like that, okay, if your distance is actually a negative number. So whenever you have the negative number over there, okay, immediately you said no solutions. Question so far? Okay, now just for fun and also checking your understanding, let's play a Kahoot game. Okay, Kahoot game, solving the absolute value equations. Only have, I think there's only have 3 questions or 3 questions. Okay, you can have a piece of paper ready. Might need a little bit calculation. Okay, let me bring that screen here. So let me stop share this. And then share my Kahoot. Okay, let's see. Okay, not yet. Okay. Okay, right here. At your school, you probably have played Kahoot before. When you hear this familiar song, okay, that's the Kahoot game. So how do you play? You join www.kahoot.it. Okay, always, okay, if you already have the app, all you need is type in the game pin, okay, and put your name here. Okay, I will wait 1 more minute. Okay, 1 more minute. And now I'm going to start. If I start, if your network right now is slow, if I start, you still can view the game pin somewhere, I think underneath the screen after I start. Okay. I think we have students. Okay, ready? Let's go. Start. Okay, so good job. 7 out of 10 is correct. So let me, I don't need to show, there's no, yeah. Okay. And one blue, -7, 7, and we have 2 students choose the -4, 4. That's actually a common, okay, common choices from several of my students as well. Because previously, when we have the absolute value x equals 4, the answer is what? +4, -4. Okay, but not always. Okay, your x value is just when you solve it is 4. One value is 4, the other one should be -4. Okay, because inside the absolute value bar, not always just the x by itself. So when you have x plus 3 should be +7 and -7. When u equals -7 minus 3, that will be the -10. So do not just thinking immediately say, oh, those two solutions should be one positive, one negative, one like +4 directly opposite to each other. Okay, that's not the case. Okay, let's look at next. True or false? Okay, 50-50. Okay, 50-50. Okay, let's take a look. So it says this equation has no solutions, okay, because distance is negative. I should say if distance is negative, okay, then you should have no solutions. But what is my distance for this equation? My distance, don't forget, you have to isolate, and then, okay, that's your distance. So my distance here is actually not -5. Okay, you need to add 8 on both sides. When I add 8, my distance is actually 3. My distance is 3, so you actually can solve. So unless after isolate your absolute value itself equals a negative number, then you have no solutions. Okay. We have just one more, okay? Only one more. Remember, first you need to isolate, okay, and then split. Oh, I have students misclicked. Okay, oh, yeah, see this time majority you get correct. So you would -5 first on both sides. So your distance is actually 5. So x minus 5 need to be equals +5 and -5. Okay, +5 and -5. Okay, then you have two solutions. Okay, a quick question. Okay, now does absolute value always either have two solutions or no solutions? Is it possible to have one solution? Is it possible? Okay, let me just stop share this. Is it possible? Okay, I have to say yes. Two solutions. All our example right now, because time is tight, right? So we have look at examples. We have two solutions. Oh yeah. Okay, now you remember. Yes. Okay, we had what? You set a 0. Okay, when you have the distance. Okay, if your distance is 0, let me just I can quickly showing this after this will be done. quickly show when we actually have only one solution. Oh, that's my pen. Okay, if I have anything, okay, expression, it could be, let me just say whatever, 2x plus 1. If this right side, okay, if the distance is 0, okay, so you cannot split, say, positive 0, negative 0, right? So you only have one solution. You will just set this 2x plus 1 equals to 0, and then you ended up only just have one solution, negative half. So when your distance is 0, you only have one solution. If distance is positive, you have two solutions. If distance is negative, okay, you have no solutions. And of course, in the class, okay, we will have a more complicated example after that. I will not show the Kahoot result. Okay, I just have the one because so students might. I can show the podium. Okay, I can show the podium, but I will not show the whole list. Oh, let me just read it out. Okay, you see the podium. Third place, Daniel. Okay, 3 out of 3. Michael, second place, 3 out of 3. And Lily, 3 out of 3. Okay, very good. I hear the music exciting. Okay. Any question for me? Just about anything about the absolute value or about the class? So if you are going to do Algebra 2 soon, maybe next year, or maybe this year, or maybe you just finished Algebra 1, you want to just have, look at what is Algebra 2. Okay, don't forget to register. Don't forget to register. And our first class will start September the 15th. Okay, I think it's Thursday, 14th or 15th, I forgot. It's Thursday. Any questions for me? Okay, if not, the class is over, the tryout is over. Okay. Have a nice day.